Earth was supposed to die quietly, another failed world on a long list of cosmic mistakes. It didn't, because someone, long ago, chose mercy. The galaxy barely noticed when Earth screamed. It was just another young planet orbiting an average star, its skies choked with ash, its oceans boiling, its magnetic field collapsing under a storm no civilization could survive. A rogue stellar, florential, violent, and merciless, had struck Sol without warning. Within hours, Earth's satellites failed. Within days, cities burned. Within weeks, extinction became inevitable. Humanity called it the long dimming. They did not yet have the technology to escape their planet. They did not have shields strong enough to deflect the radiation. They did not even know they were being watched. But someone did. The Aurelian Compact was an old species, golden-skinned, long-lived and bound by a code. Few empires still honored. They were not conquerors. They were keepers. When their observation arrays detected Sol's collapse, the Compact debated for exactly 42 seconds. Intervention violated protocol. Non-interference was doctrine, but extinction was final. So they broke their own law. Aurelian Star Shepherds entered Sol space unnoticed. They deployed planetary stabilizers, seeded Earth's magnetosphere with lattice fields, and bled off the stellar storm into controlled subspace fractures. Humanity never saw them. All humans knew was that the sky stopped burning, that the radiation faded, that Earth against all probabilities survived. The event passed into myth, then history, then obscurity, but the Aurelian Compact recorded it carefully. Debt incurred, one species. Status survived. Probability of repayment, negligible. They were wrong. Centuries passed. Humanity rebuilt. Slowly at first, then faster, always faster. They learned to leave Earth, then to reshape planets, then to bend energy, space, and probability into tools. They found ruins. They found enemies. They found themselves. And eventually, they found records, fragments, gravitational scars, impossible signatures buried deep in Sol's heliopause of Aidance that someone had once intervened, quietly, selflessly. Human scientists argued for decades, until one truth became undeniable. Earth had been saved. Humanity did what humans always do when faced with such knowledge. They remembered. The Aurelian Compact, meanwhile, prospered. They did not expand aggressively. They did not build super weapons. Their fleets were modest, their defenses ceremonial. No one bothered them. No one needed to. Until the day the stars around their home system changed. Aurelian astronomers noticed it first. Constellations subtly rearranged. Background radiation fluctuated in rhythmic pulses. Space itself began to hum. Then the object appeared at the edge of their system, not a fleet, a structure, bigger than moons, dark as void, wrapped in controlled stellar fire. It did not transmit threats. It did not power weapons. It sent a single message, translated perfectly into ancient Aurelian script. We remember. The Aurelians stared at the signal in stunned silence. They had saved a dying world once. They had never considered what that world might become. The Aurelian Compact had encountered conquerors before. They arrived loud, they arrived demanding, they arrived armed. This was different. The structure at the edge of the system did not advance. It simply existed, anchored to nothing, defying orbital mechanics with casual indifference. Its silhouette warped starlight, not by mass alone, but by intent, as if space itself deferred around it. Aurelian elders gathered beneath vaulted halls grown from living crystal. Some had lived through a dozen minor wars. None had ever seen anything like this. Is it a weapon? One asked. No, replied the chief astronomer, her voice unsteady. If it were, we would already be dead. They opened a channel. The reply did not come from a single voice. It came as many, layered into one, come precise, unmistakably human. We are humanity, the message said. We come without hostility. We come to repay a debt. Aurelian historians scrambled through ancient archives. The record surfaced quickly. Sol, a blue planet, a doomed species they had once saved without ceremony. That species had survived. That species had returned. Human vessels began to emerge not from hyperspace, not from jump points, but from controlled ruptures in reality itself. Each arrival sent harmonic tremors through the system, rippling through gravity wells like disturbed water. Still, no weapons charged. Instead, the humans built, in full view of the Aurelians, colossal frameworks, unfolded stellar anchors, energy collectors, space-time stabilizers. Entire suns were gently nudged, their output reshaped with surgical care. Radiation storms were siphoned away before they could form. The Aurelian homeworld's unstable moonlong, a looming disaster, was quietly corrected. Its orbit locked into perfect harmony. All of this happened in silence. All of it happened effortlessly. What is their objective? An elder whispered. The answer came moments later. A new transmission. When you saved us, the humans said, you did not ask for tribute. You did not mark us as vassals. You did not even announce yourselves. A pause. Long enough to feel deliberate. You showed us what mercy looks like at a cosmic scale. The humans continued. Our civilization grew on that lesson. Aurelian scientists realized something, then something deeply unsettling. The humans were not just advanced, they were restrained. Every system they altered could have been weaponized. Every structure they deployed could have collapsed stars, sterilized planets, rewritten local physics into extinction. But they didn't. Instead, they optimized life. They reinforced the compact's borders with invisible defense lattice that bent hostile trajectories away without violence. They seeded nearby systems with autonomous guardians, silent, patient, impossible to deceive. Humanity was not repaying a debt with gold, they were repaying it with safety. And yet, unease spread. Because if this was what humans did when they were grateful, what did they do when they were not? The Aurelian High Speaker finally addressed the humans directly. We saved you once, she said carefully. We did not expect this. The response came immediately. We know, the humans replied. That is why this is only the beginning. The galaxy learned about humanity the way it learns about all existential changes, too late. At first, the reports were dismissed as exaggeration. Aurelian space had become quiet. Trade lanes once plagued by pirates reported zero losses. Border skirmishes simply stopped. Long-range sensors detected massive energy fluctuations, but no detonations, no debris fields, no casualties, just stability. That alone was terrifying. The Celt Dominion noticed second. They were a predatory empire, ancient and proud, ruling through fear and orbital bombardment. Their scouts entered the outer Aurelian buffer expecting weak resistance. None came. Instead, their fleet found itself gently but absolutely halted. Weapons would not fire, drives would not engage. Even internal reactors refused to overload. A single message appeared across every Celt command display. Translated flawlessly, this space is under protection. No threats, no demands, just a fact. The Celt retreated. For the first time in their recorded history, they did so without firing a shot. Whispers spread. A new power had emerged. Not an empire, not an alliance. Something worse. Galactic councils convened emergency sessions. Analysts compared sensor data, gravitational signatures, energy profiles. The conclusion chilled even the oldest species. Humanity possessed post-scarcity force projection. They did not need to choose between defense and offense. They did not need supply lines. They did not even need fleets. They could reshape environments so completely that conflict simply failed. The Aurelians watched all of this with growing unease. Their skies had never been safer. Their borders had never been stronger. Their future had never been more secure. And yet, many of their elders could not sleep, because gratitude of this magnitude created imbalance. And imbalance, in the galaxy, always demanded correction. The High Speaker summoned humanity again. You are altering the equilibrium, she said. Other powers will respond. The reply came calmly. We are aware. A pause. They already tried. That was when the humans showed them the archive, a record of attempted hostilities, fleets that had vanished, weapons that had failed, stars that had simply refused to cooperate with aggression. No explosions. No dramatic last stands. Just systems rendered inert, harmless, helpless, alive. You did not destroy them, the High Speaker asked. No, the humans answered. That would not honor the lesson you taught us. The realization struck the Aurelians like gravitational collapse. Humanity had internalized mercy not as weakness but as doctrine. They had weaponized restraint. And the galaxy was unprepared for that. Elsewhere, older civilizations reacted with fear. Some fortified, some hid, some plotted preemptive strikes. All of them failed before they even began. Humanity did not counterattack. They anticipated. Probability itself bent around human projections. Conflict paths closed before they opened. Aggressive empires found themselves economically isolated, politically fragmented, their populations strangely calm. Human influence spread without conquest. Like gravity, the stars themselves seemed quieter now, as if waiting, as if aware, and somewhere deep within human space, vast constructs adjusted silently, monuments, not of war, but of memory, because humanity had not come to rule the galaxy. They had come to repay a debt, and debts, once paid, changed everything. The Velith Ascendancy did not believe in mercy. They were older than the Aurelians, older than most recorded stars. Their civilization had survived by one principle alone: power must be proven through dominance. They watched humanity's rise with contempt, a species that refused to conquer, a power that declined to annihilate, a force that spoke of gratitude. To the Valeth, this was not strength, it was hesitation. Their conclave reached a decision unanimously. They would test humanity, not with an invasion, not with open war, with an example. A fringe world near human-protected space vanished, not destroyed, emptied. Its oceans boiled away, its crust fractured, its population millions was forcibly relocated through crude spatial displacements, scattered across hostile systems. The Valeth broadcast the act across galactic channels. A message accompanied it. Your protection is selective. Your mercy is cosmetic. Respond or be irrelevant. The galaxy held its breath. Human space went silent. No fleets mobilized. No weapons charged. No threats were issued. For exactly 13 minutes. Then every Valeth system experienced the same phenomenon. Time slipped, not stopped, not reversed. Uncoupled energy flows desynchronized. Cause and effect fell slightly but catastrophically out of alignment. Reactors failed to sustain reactions. Weapon systems could not resolve targeting solutions. Even biological processes faltered, inducing profound disorientation. Panic erupted. The Valeth had faced extinction weapons before. This was different. This was control. A human transmission appeared erect, precise, in ancient Valeth dialect. We understand your test, it said. We decline it. Another pause. You harmed others to provoke us. That choice has consequences. In real space, something vast unfolded around Valeth territory. Not a weapon, a framework. A probability lattice spanning light years, threading through stars like invisible veins. It did not attack, it redefined. Within its boundary, no act of violence could reach completion. Missiles failed to detonate. Blades dulled. Aggressive neural impulses simply dissipated. The Valeth ascendancy found itself pacified, not conquered, rendered incapable of cruelty. This is impossible, a Valeth war elder screamed. You cannot rewrite will. The human reply was gentle. We are not rewriting it. We are protecting others from it. The displaced populations from the ruined fringe world were returned healed, stabilized, offered sanctuary under human oversight. The Valeth were not punished further. No reparations demanded. No territory seized. Just a final message, broadcast to the entire galaxy. This was restraint. The stars trembled not from explosions, but from understanding. If this was humanity's response to provocation, what would their anger look like? The Aurelians finally understood the true nature of the debt being repaid. Humanity was not thanking them. Humanity was becoming what they once needed. After the Valeth ascendancy fell silent, the galaxy changed its language. Words like expansion, conquest, and deterrence faded from diplomatic lexicons. In their place came new phrases, carefully chosen, deliberately vague. Human-adjacent space. Protected regions. Zones of irreversible consequence. Everyone knew what they meant. The Aurelians requested one final audience. Not as benefactors, not as equals, but as witnesses. Why, the High Speaker asked. Why go this far for us, for anyone? The human response did not come from fleets or councils. It came from Earth. A single transmission, broadcast from Sol itself. Younger than many stars, scarred by wars both ancient and recent. Still orbiting the same yellow sun it nearly lost. Earth spoke through humanity. When you saved us, the voice said, you did so without knowing what we would become. You accepted that risk. A pause. We will not allow that choice to be punished. Then the humans revealed the truth they had kept hidden. The galaxy had believed Earth was merely humanity's cradle. It was not. Earth was a keystone. Beneath its crust lay structures older than humanity, vast, dormant frameworks woven into the planet's formation. Not alien ruins, not machines' failsafes. Humanity had not built them, they had completed them. Earth was now bound to a network that spanned across dimensions, anchored to constants deeper than spacetime. If Earth were destroyed, the release would not be localized. It would cascade. Stars would destabilize. Physical laws would fluctuate. Entire regions of the universe would become uninhabitable not through explosion, but through incoherence. The galaxy had mistaken humanity's restraint for preference. It was containment. We do not threaten Earth, the High Speaker said quietly. We know, humanity replied. This message is not for you. The transmission expanded, reaching every listening civilization. Earth is not a weapon, it is a boundary. Cross it, and consequences will not be chosen. Silence followed, the kind that follows understanding. Empires dismantled invasion doctrines overnight. Ancient war A's were quietly decommissioned. Borders froze not through treaties, but through fear of destabilizing something no one fully understood. Humanity did not gloat. They withdrew many of their constructs. They reduced visible presence. They returned to exploration, diplomacy, art, but the line remained clear, absolute. The Aurelians looked at Earth one last time through distant sensors, a small blue world, still fragile, still alive, still protected not by weapons, but by memory. Centuries passed, not in peace, there was still conflict, ambition, fear, but in care. The galaxy learned how to exist differently. Worlds once crushed under imperial boots rebuilt themselves. Trade replaced conquest. Even predators learned subtlety, if not compassion. All of it traced back to a single truth everyone now understood. Humanity had chosen restraint. Earth never expanded its borders aggressively. Human fleets remained sparse, their designs elegant rather than intimidating. Their presence felt less like occupation, and more like gravity always. They're impossible to ignore, rarely seen. Children on distant worlds grew up hearing a story, not propaganda. A warning told us history. Long ago Earth was dying. Long ago someone saved it. And when the debt came due, humanity did not repay it with domination but with protection so absolute that violence itself lost meaning. Aurelian scholars eventually carved the lesson into their archives. When humans repay a debt, they do so completely. They do not balance scales. They end cycles. There were still those who asked the forbidden question, what if humanity changed? What if gratitude faded? What if Earth forgot? The answer came not as a threat, but as reassurance. Earth did not forget. Every year, on the anniversary of the long dimming, humanity observed a quiet ritual. No broadcasts, no ceremonies. Just a moment where their vast networks paused, calculations suspended, fleets held still, a remembrance of fragility. Because that was the final secret the galaxy learned. Humanity's power did not come from technology alone, it came from memory. They remembered being helpless. They remembered being saved. They remembered the cost of extinction. And so they built a civilization that would never allow it again for themselves, or for anyone else. Far from Sol, on a world that had once feared human approach, an elder now taught younglings beneath artificial stars. Why do the stars tremble? One asked. The elder smiled. They don't, he said. They remember. And somewhere, beneath a yellow sun, a small blue planet continued to turn, not as a weapon, not as a throne, but as a promise the universe had learned to respect.